America has moved from being a close and valued ally in many ways to become an avaricious imperial predator. As Europe faces both ways, and America, which has clearly decoupled itself from European security, and an America under Trump, which is increasingly close to Russia, Europe has to look after its security and cannot rely on America. America has moved from being a close and valued ally in many ways to become an avaricious imperial predator, as we're seeing with its efforts to take over Venezuelan oil and the threats it makes to the territorial integrity of a NATO ally, in other words, Greenland. So Europe cannot rely on America and has to stand together as a continent. I think it's highly likely. The one thing that's stopping Russia at the moment is that it remains fixed in Ukraine. But despite the war in Ukraine, which continues to swallow and kill large numbers of soldiers on both sides, particularly the Russian side, Russia, seeing disarray in NATO and potentially the destruction of NATO by Donald Trump's predatory actions towards Denmark and Greenland, could very easily decide to take advantage of this and attack the Baltic states. That would precipitate a major war between Russia and Europe. Europe has got to do what it can with what it's got. It is not in an ideal position. Europe has weakened itself by decades of underspending on defense, despite warnings from many people, including people like me, that it was standing into danger. But the reality now is that Europe has got to stand on level, albeit with potentially all the European nations together and potentially Canada, and do what it can with what it can. Now, even so, European economies, if you group them all together, dwarf Russia by a factor of 4 or so. And Europe still has real military capability. But clearly it would be better with America, but America's not going to be part of it. Russia has been waging a covert war in Europe and with America too, since 2014. So for 12 years now. So the covert war will continue. Cyber, drone incursions, overflights of aircraft, manipulation of minorities, special forces activity, maritime activity, cutting cables and the like. That will continue. The real risk now is that the warfare will ramp up to the level of conventional war with, for example, an incursion into one of the Baltic states. Yes, Putin will absolutely challenge NATO and challenge Article 5. And if Putin attacked with division in NATO, the fact that America has already said it will not underwrite European security. So America's effectively already denied Article 5. So that will be very much to Putin's opportunity.